Welcome back. Offering support to those who are in need, the New York City Public Engagement Unit is addressing the rent challenges facing millions of New Yorkers. Joining me to discuss their rent freeze program and their efforts to assist New Yorkers is rent freeze specialist for the NYC PEU, Natasha Vester. Natasha, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So, like I mentioned, the NYC Public Engagement Unit currently aims to support vulnerable communities struggling with rent. Can you tell me more about your organization and how they are assisting those who need it most?
Well, the New York City Mayor's Public Engagement Unit, it was created to develop a new model for government outreach, using community organizing principles to provide services to New York City communities. We're here to make sure that New Yorkers know about the benefits available to them and help them apply. But in addition to doing outreach, we also conduct case management to help people throughout the process of applying for or enrolling in certain benefits. We understand that the processes can be confusing, so we are here to bridge the gap between the New York City government and the constituents by offering one-on-one free support.
And
We
I like
speak,
that you.
I'm sorry.
No, you can continue.
Okay, so we speak over a dozen languages and we offer free help with a variety of issues like enrolling in health insurance, tenants' rights, and what I'm doing is here to talk about the rent freeze program.
So yeah, I like that you mentioned that it can be confusing because for a lot of New Yorkers, especially I know for like our community of the Bronx, a lot of people can't really understand or it's just hard to understand what's happening. So I love that you have that. And I also love that you have so many languages and people that can assist those. So I think that's great. Now, another way your organization helps others is through education. Can you just let us know what is rent freeze?
Well, the New York City rent freeze program, it helps eligible New Yorkers stay in their homes by keeping their housing affordable. The rent freeze program, it freezes the amount that you pay in rent. So in other words, if you enroll, your rent will stay the same from year to year without an increase. So this may not sound like a huge deal, but that money that builds up, um, I've seen people save thousands of dollars over the years with these benefits. So it will help.
Now, what are the two types of rent freeze benefits and who qualifies for them?
So there are two types of rent freeze benefits that are provided by the city. One is for New Yorkers that are 62. It's called the Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption Program. And in order to qualify, you must be 62 or older, have a household income of 50,000 or less. You must be spending one third of your income on rent, and you must be living in a rent regulated, rent stabilized, rent controlled, or single room occupancy and listed on the lease. There's also the Disability Rent Increase Exemption Program, which is called the DRE. And to be qualified, you must be 18 or older, have a household income of 50,000 or less. You must be spending at least one third of your income on rent, and you must be receiving a disability related government benefit. You also must be living in a rent stabilized, rent controlled, or a single room occupancy and listed on a lease.
Now, can you tell me about a moment where you helped a New Yorker freeze their rent? Because I can imagine this can be a lot, and this could be life changing, for so many people. So, can you tell me about a moment you actually helped change someone's life?
Yes. So I've helped a lot of Bronx community members access free injury, ultimately freezing their rent. There's one person I've recently worked with. She's a Bronx native with a disability. When I first talked to her, she told me that she was homebound. So because of this, and because the landlord did not provide her with the lease, I visited her home and I helped her complete the paperwork that she needed to apply. To apply for the rent freeze benefits, you would need to submit an initial application form along with other documents, which our team can help you with if you call our hotline at 929-252-7242. But through this work, I've discovered a number of issues with this client. She had housing issues where I connected her with the PEU's tenant support unit, and they helped her with filing a 311 complaint, and they made sure that her issues were resolved. And I also assisted her with receiving a lease. So PEU takes the role of providing one-on-one assistance to ensure that our clients not only receive the benefits that they deserve, but we also triaging across our internal teams across the city agencies to ensure that New Yorkers are getting the help and support that they need.
Now, what motivates you to continue working with these communities that need it most? Because I can imagine it's probably not the easiest. So, what motivates you to continue doing this work?
Well, I love helping. I love working with people, and I love helping someone save money, especially during these times. Anything, anything I can do to help, I'm willing to do it. So I work with many clients who don't feel like they're getting enough assistance. So we don't just take your information and pass it along. We want to see you save money and get assistance from a city agency. So I'm willing to go the extra mile to help.
Now, your organization works with seniors and people with disabilities, as you mentioned. Can you explain how these communities are uniquely affected by this rent issue or this rent crisis that we're seeing in our city?
Well, these are some of the most marginalized New Yorkers who we work with through this program. So any increase is a challenge for our seniors and people with disabilities. This program, it helps people save money, thousands of dollars, and it helps them stay in their homes. Many are often on fixed incomes, and as the rent increases, people are getting scared that they won't be able to stay in their homes. So it's hard to buy food, pay for Medicare, and keep up with the rising rent. So with the rent increase, with the rent freeze program, you can freeze your rent as it is today, no matter what the increase is going on forward, and keep your home. So it's important, more important now than ever, to enroll in the rent freeze program. So you can call us again at 929-252-7242.
And as you mentioned, it is important. Can you explain why it's so important that we do have, programs like this to support people from the Bronx and also just people all over New York City?
Well, it is important because many people, again, can't afford to get by day. And with these programs, it will help them, again, save money, be able to obtain food, um, and get medical services. So these programs are very important for the Bronx communities and the communities within the five boroughs.
Now, what happens when your rent freeze application is approved?
Well, after your application is approved, the amount that you pay in rent, it will stay the same. And the government will cover the cost of any increase and will pay the landlord with tax credits. So you would need to file a renewal every year or two. But the Department of Finance will send renewal documents about 60 days before your benefits set to expire. So you will know when to renew. The renewal process is simpler than the initial application process, but PEU is here to help you every step of the way if you give us a call at our hotline at 929-252-7242.
Now, how can people just learn more about, your organization and the work that you're doing in general?
Well, you can find us at our website at nyc.gov/PEU or on social media. We're at the Mayor's PEU on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But also to reach a rent-free specialist like myself, you can call us directly at 929-252-7242.
Now, I'd like to know a little bit more about just your experience working in this field. What inspired you, to get involved in this type of work where you will be helping people, with rent? Like, what inspired you to just kind of go into the field of helping others?
Well, the feedback that I get um, helping people, I've had people call me crying, thanking me because, we actually took the time out to help and see it through. That really makes me feel good. And like I said, I love to help in any way that I can help someone save money or keep their apartment, stay in their homes. I'm willing to do it.
And I really like that there's a focus on seniors and people with disabilities because I feel that often in our society, they can be ignored when it comes to those who need help. So, can you explain why it's so important that there is a focus on this community?
Well, we don't want our seniors and disabled communities to, you know, not be able to access housing, or even pay for rent. It's really hard. And some of the stories, I feel bad. And this is why, and there's some that, they're on a fixed income, so they're not able to pay for Medicare, or they're not able to buy food this month because they have to pay for, maybe add extra money to their rent, or, pay for a light bill, or things like that. So it's really important because, like I said, many are on a fixed income.
Now, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, before we let you go, can you just let everybody know once again how they can contact your organization if they need help or if they simply just want to learn a little bit more?
Well, you can visit our website at the Mayor's PEU, on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And you can also contact us at our website at nyc.gov/PEU, or you can give us a call, rent-free specialist at 929-252-7242.
All right, Natasha, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with more Open BxRx Tuesday.